Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I want to apologize in ahead of time. I did not film the Q&A last Saturday like I was supposed to. Well, my mind just a lot happened and my mind just so I will be filming that video, excuse me, after this video. But the reason why I'm doing this video is to kind of give y'all an update slash um I don't want to say an answer, but it's kind of like an update. Because the last video that I did vlog was when we find out the gender of our baby. So we this video is about our anatomy scan that we had yesterday. I didn't I filmed it from start to finish, but I didn't want to post it because I don't know. I just didn't want to post it, so instead I just said I might as well just create a video where I could talk to, you know, everyone about what happened. Um, so as of when was our scan? Wednesday? No, Tuesday, because my birthday was Wednesday, which was yesterday. Yeah. So Tuesday we went for our anatomy scan, and I was about 18 weeks and 3 days, I want to say, roughly, give or take a day or two. Um, and we've been waiting for this moment for like months. So we went into our anatomy scan yesterday, Tuesday morning, and we got there, we did the whole check-in procedure, and we then go into a room, the ultrasound room, and we get set up, and the ultrasound technician said as she goes along, she's going to point out every body part that she's taking a picture of and stuff like that. So she does as she says. She points out the legs, the arms, the shoulders, the knees, the face, the nose, the head, the brain, everything. She points out kidneys, all the great human parts that we got. Before I go into details about that, it was confirmed that we are having a baby girl. So yeah, because I know the video before we didn't say we were having, so I'm saying in this video we are having a little girl. So she confirmed that, and after she was done with everything, she said, I'm going to take the ultrasound pictures to the doctor and make sure everything's fine, and then I'm gonna let y'all go because we did have another appointment to follow up with after that ultrasound appointment. So she went out the room, and she was out for like a good, I want to say, 15 to 20 minutes. And when she left, the doctor came in, and when the doctor came in, he had a white slip of paper in his hand. And I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. Um, and at that moment, I knew something was wrong. He came in. It's how he came in, and it's how he sat down. He came in. He introduced himself to me and to Colin, and not even before he could even blur out of like what's wrong, I just started to tear up. And then at that moment, I was trying to look away from him because I honestly did not want to hear what he had to say because I knew I wasn't prepared for it. But then when I looked away, because the screen monitor screen that shows you everything is on the right hand side, and I looked that way, and then I said, I know I see the picture of the baby's brain, the ultrasound picture of the baby's brain, the shot that she took. And he went into details of why he had a piece of paper in hand, and he was basically saying it's a follow-up anatomy scan for the heart because they couldn't get a good shot of the baby's heart because how the baby was positioned. They wanted to get like through the chest cavity of the heart. That'd be a better picture versus through the back. The spine. That's the picture she got, and the doctor said he wanted a picture through the chest. So, he was saying about that, and then he was like, "Okay, well, there's something else." And why he said it like that, I don't know, but he said there's something else. And he said, we found a cyst on the baby's brain, on the left side of the baby's brain. And I was just like, okay. And he was like, you know, he says a small cyst on the left side of his baby's brain. After he said that, I kind of like spaced out. I didn't hear anything else. Collins, I'm like still on the table where they did the ultrasound, and Collins sitting on the chair and the doctor sitting in the corner, and Collins face to face with him, making eye contact, listening to him, and I'm listening, but I'm not listening. Like, I'm hearing, I see his mouth move, and I know words are coming out, but in my mind, they're not processing what he's saying. So I don't even know. I can't even tell you guys what he said, because I literally spaced out. I heard cyst on brain, and my mind just shut down. So, you know, I finally got back into reality, and he said, you know, there's nothing to worry about. He said this is very common, but he said this is like a marker for kids with Down syndrome or autism. And he said, you know, we could either ignore this because he said it was normal and it could possibly go away, or we could seek genetic counseling. And when he said genetic counseling, I was like, oh God, like I was just, I'm still in shock. It's not piecing together. So when he said genetic counseling, I said, yeah, we were going to go see genetic counseling. And he said, okay, that's good. He said, well, when you go to your next appointment with your doctor, she already was going to know what's going on, and she'll talk, you know, briefly about that. So he got up, said, you know, okay, well, go ahead and go to your next appointment. And he said, you know, but everything's going to be okay. And he shook her hands and he walked out. You know, the nurse gave us our disc with had all our pictures on it, and she shook her hands and said good luck, and we walked out. And when we got to our other appointment, when we got in the room, I broke down crying because I couldn't help but to blame myself, because I was thinking this is something I did, and I'm still blaming myself to now. To doing this video, I still blame myself. And Colin's like in the room reassuring me, you know, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be okay, and stuff like that. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, I want to tell myself it's gonna be okay, but at that moment of not expecting to hear that, I was like, no, it's not. And I don't want to have that mindset of thinking, you know, it's not gonna be okay. But I just broke down crying, blaming myself, and you know, I like I said, I'm still blaming myself. So our doctor came in, and a really sweet lady. I really like her. She's really sweet, and I hope she's there through all my other appointments. But she came in, and she, you know, checked up on everybody else. She said, you just had your anatomy scan, and da 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 da. Excuse me. And she said, excuse me. And she said, they told you that they found a cyst on the brain. And at that moment, you know, she turned to me and she looked, and I didn't want to look because I didn't want to keep hearing the same thing. But I looked at her, made eye contact with her, and she said, all my 24 years, she said, me being an OBGYN doctor and seeing cases like this, she said, I'd never seen them go on to be something horrible. She said, I seen every single one of those cases in my 24 years be normal, and the cyst will go away and the baby be perfectly fine. And that kind of, she saw the worry in my face, and she said, I see you concerned. And then she said, it's good that you're concerned. And she saw the worry in my face, and when she said that, it kind of relaxed me. But then, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is this normal? You know, is this common? Will it go away? You know, but I didn't want to sit there and keep asking that, because, you know, she's just there to reassure me. But I was hoping she was being honest with it, and I think she really was, to say how common and normal it is. But she still suggested I do see a genetic counselor and do genetic testing, which we are. So we was in there for a good 20 minutes talking and stuff like that. And she, heard the baby's heartbeat. The heartbeat was 147 beats per minute, which was healthy. Um, and she said, you know what, the anatomy scan, everything looked healthy. Everything, all the other parts and on the body, like the arms and the legs, the head, the sides, everything else was normal, in normal range. To why that's why I guess they wasn't that concerned of it possibly being, Down syndrome or autism. But they still said, seek genetic counseling, and I'm still going to seek it because, I want to be prepared just in case our child do come out with some disability that needs, us to be prepared and ready for them. So, like I said, we was in there for a good 20 minutes. We left, and when me and Colin got in the car, he was doing everything to make me happy, everything to make me smile, and I was smiling and being happy. But after dropping him off at work and picking him up, I could totally tell he was a different person. I'm talking to him, and he's like, he's responding, but it's like in a mood. And then I finally asked him, I said, what's wrong? He said, nothing. I said, well, why are you coming off on me like that? And he's like, he said, it's nothing. And I'm like, Colin, what is wrong? Tell me what's wrong. And he just broke down in the car and started crying. I'm thinking to myself, like, I told myself, you can't hold this something like this in. I said, whatever concerns you have for this, I said, we need to go through it together. We need to talk about this together. I said, because we can't get through this separate, being separate. Me being mad at myself and you being mad at yourself, and that's not going to help us get through this. I said, we need to talk about this. I know it's something we didn't want to hear, but